Hey y'all, it's Joanna, and I love to DIY on a budget and make beautiful home decor. And if you like to sew, then catch me on Saturdays. Now, let's get crafty. Okay, so right here I have one of the Dollar Tree wood rounds, plaques, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to use my staple remover, and I'm going to try to remove my staples. But since that twine was in there, it didn't work, so I got to get my little mini pinchies in a minute and just finish pulling staples out. It's no big deal. These are not hard to get off, one iota. I mean, they're easy peasy. And then I'm gonna use all those two nuts. We call them. I'm from the north. I call them nuts all my life. They're acorn nuts or whatever, acorns, and that leaf. And I'm gonna use those, all three of those in this DIY. But I'm gonna take my finger sander and I'm trying to sand this off. And I don't know if I got just like a 2 course of a grit paper on there or what, but it was making it more splintery than it was making it smooth, so I just kind of give up and said forget it. So I'll just take my vacuum in a second, you'll see me, and I'm just going to vacuum up all that sawdust out of there. A handheld vacuum is essential if you're a crafter, I'm telling you. But anyways, once I get that done, then I'm going to take this made up stain, and all it is black paint, burnt umber, and water. I need to add more black because it's more gray. But I mean, I like that gray tone, but when I want black, I want black. I should just paint it black. I don't know. But it looks good. I want to see the wood through it. So anyway, yeah, here we are. So now I'm going to take my nuts here and I'm going to pull the staples out of the back of them. And that was a little harder because of the twine down in them too. So I thought I could just lift it up out of there, especially this one. That one gave me fits, so I'll get it off camera maybe. But anyway, so I'm going to take the tops of these, and nope, I'm going to do it on camera. Nope, I did it off camera. I don't know what I'm doing, y'all. I'm just crazy. This is a beautiful, beautiful paint. It's a shimmer, I guess you call it. I don't know. It's called Rich Espresso. I got Espresso. I got it at Hobby Lobby. And I'm just going to put it down here. This, I do use a glass mat, okay? This is my paint palette here. I use this glass mat for everything. But this takes 2 coats of this acrylic paint. And it's so beautiful. I'll show you in a minute. But anyway, if you don't have a glass mat and you're a crafter, you're missing out. All you got to do is go get one from Lowe's. Just a piece of glass. They'll cut it for you, or they have them pre-cut. But anyway, there you Rich Espresso right there, and it's Metallics by Folk Art, and I love it. So look, oh, it's so beautiful, ain't it? So now I've got Caesar Easy Weed Stretch, and this is ultra matte vinyl, and I love it. When I use it on signs, it's iron on vinyl, yeah, but it works great. So I'm gonna arrange my acorns here, and then I'm gonna put my leaf on here, and I'm trying to figure out where I want to put my words. I mean, why put words on a board if you're not going to see them, right? So I'm going to put them down here, and I'm going to try to get them as even as possible by using my lines on the board. That's easy. Yeah. So then when I get them on there, it's sticky, so I'm going to push it down. And this is shirt vinyl in case you don't know, but you can put a cover sheet over this. I'm just using my heat press. Now, I'm not going to press long because it will melt that. Because I'm not using a cover sheet. So I'm just pressing just a little bit. You don't want to slide too much. You'll smear your vinyl. And then it's a hot peel. So I'm just going to peel my transfer tape off. And there you go. I'm going to let that cool down a little bit. And then I'm going to use my X-Acto knife with a very sharp blade. And I'm going to trim that vinyl in between those spaces there. The cracks, crevices, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to trim down in there so that it looks like it's kind of like painted on, So now I'm going to take my Titebond wood glue and some hot glue. And I'm going to take my acorns. And I wish I would, like I said, I was like, how did I have them on there? I'm so crazy. I don't remember. For the life of me, I don't remember. And I liked them the other way. I really did. So I'm going to fidget with them until I get them the way I want them, I'm like, yeah, that looks good right there. So I was like, just do it this way. So I just used hot glue and wood glue, and I don't know where that clip went, and glued those down. Don't mix your hot glue with your wood glue, because that's not good for you. I mean, it won't stick. I mean, it's not bad for you, but I mean, per se. But anyway, so I'm going to take my leaf, and I'm going to scrape my gather off as best I can, or sand it off. And I want to use this side. So once I get that off, I'm going to give it a coat of plaster. I had to use 2 coats. Why did I want to show you that was plaster that long? I have no idea. So now I'm going to take my rich espresso, and I'm going to give it 2 coats of that. The reason I went over it with the plaster first, I should have used a brown. It would have made sense. But I didn't want this because acrylics are thin, and I didn't want it to have a, see where the white and the brown, where I sanded it, it would look yucky. So I just painted it white and then put this coat over it. Now it took 2 coats of this rich espresso. Now I've got this ribbon. I used it in another DIY. I've had it forever. It doesn't have wire in it, so it's real floppy. And I'm just going to fold it over, make a cancer awareness thingy, and then pull it down in the middle and, use that for right there. So I'm going to take my rub and buff, but this is antique gold rub and buff. And this one looks more like copper. So because the acorn tops look like copper, then this is the one I'm going to use. So I'm just going to take my finger, and I'm going to rub put a little bit on it. A little bit goes a long ways too, y'all. I'm just telling you. And it was real oily, watery, so I had to take and get some out. But I'm going to take my finger and go around my rim. Now, I got a little heavy-handed, but I love it. I absolutely love it. Wasn't that just the most beautiful thing? Yeah, thanks. So now I'm going to take my leaf, and I am going to... I was like, where am I supposed to put this thing? So I got some... Oh, this is like painter's tape. It's really low-tack tape. So I'm going to put one there, and I'm going to put a piece at the thing there. And that is going to where... that's going to be... That's going to be where I'm going to put my glue. I'm going to use a little bit of wood glue. This is what I did on the back of those acorns as well. And then wherever you don't have wood glue, you put just a little smidgen of hot glue. And I like to put my hot glue real thin so that it's not got no thick space. Because if you use hot glue, it raises it up some. And so I didn't want that. So I used just a thin layer of glue, piece of glue, whatever. And I'm going to cover up that hole by putting that little bow I made right there in the middle. But before I put that little bow in the middle, I'm going to take this greenery. I know for a fact I got this at Walmart. I'm pretty sure. I might have got it at Dollar Tree. I don't know. It's called rosemary. And I absolutely love this stuff. And I don't remember where I got it, and I can't find it. So if y'all know where it came from, please let me know so I can look for it, because I love it. It's so, I don't know, it's just a perfect color green. Has a little bit of fuzzy, a little bit of white-like stuff. I don't know. It's just very pretty. So I glue those two together, and I don't think it's going to hold. So I'm going to take jute. And this is thin jute from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to put a dot of glue, and I'm going to hold it down in that glue. And then I'm going to start winding it around real tight. And this is going to hold these together for one. And then it's going to give me something of substance to glue down to the wood there. Because I'll glue the jute and not that wire. So it all works out better. Now that I have my jute on there, I'm going to fill that hole with glue, and I'm going to smush that down in there, and I'm going to hold it until it sets, but I didn't feel confident. So I'm going to grab my stapler, and I'm going to put a couple staples in there. Put one there. I just did it right through the leaf. You won't see it. I moved my leaf, actually, but anyways, then I glued my bow down. And then I have these two little acorns, and I painted them gold as well with that, not gold, but with that paint. And I just put that right in the middle of my bow. And then I'm going to turn it over. I don't like this that don't have wire. Now you could put Mod Podge on your ribbon and let it dry, and that'll stiffen your ribbon, or school glue. Either one works. But I just didn't have time, or I would have. Now I'm going to flip it over, try to find my center, and then I'm going to glue these down and then staple them on. That's what it looks like. I think this is so, so pretty, y'all. So for the next one, I have this, and I've had it in my stash. I'm crafting my stash stuff, in case you don't know. So I take this, and I am pulling all the paper off. That one came off real easy, but these gave me a little trouble. So I'm going to peel what paper I can, scrape it off with a razor, and it still doesn't come off. So I'm just going to get that, the slick coating off, and then I'm going to spritz it with a water bottle and scrape all of that glue and paper and everything off, okay? Yep, there's my water bottle. And I'm going to spritz it. Look, I'm spritzing it. Why did I leave this in there? What is wrong with me? Y'all, I'm having video editing problems. Oh, goodness gracious. Now I got these napkins at Hobby Lobby. I got them half off. And they're beautiful, aren't they? And I'm going to use it. So I peeled one layer off, and I thought that don't look right. So I know there's a the DIY struggle calls it, there's a sneaky layer on there somewhere. I can't get it. I was looking to see, are they 3-ply? That's too thick for a napkin. So I'm going to take Mod Podge. I'm going to put a little bit on my finger. Works every time. There's that stinking layer back there. So you got to make sure you got all these off, y'all. Otherwise, it won't stick right. So now I'm just going to put Mod Podge all over this. Not the napkin, the wood. I'm going to Mod Podge the wood. Okay? And I'm going to lay this napkin on there. So before I do that, I'm just going to paint on my Mod Podge. Thin layer. It don't got to be real thick. You need a thin layer. And make sure you get your edges very well so that your paper's not peeling up. If you miss, you can put Mod Podge on it and stick your paper down, but it's just easier to do it the first time. Y'all see my new sign? Ain't it cute? But anyways, it's easier to do it the first time than to have to do it again. So now that it's there, it's dry, and I'm going to do the iron-on method I got my heat press. Do not do this, people. Do not do it. Put something between it. I got glue. I realized it's starting to stick. I don't know what I was thinking. My mind has been crazy, and I totally forgot my parchment paper until my iron started sticking, and I was like, what is wrong with this thing? And I realized I forgot my parchment paper. So grab your parchment paper. You don't have to have a big piece. Just move it along with you. Just make sure it's between your iron and your project, okay? And then once you have it down, check and make sure it's down. If it's not, iron over it again or Mod Podge it down. And then I'm going to let it cool. I got to put my patient pants on and let it cool. And then I'll peel my paper around the edges. You have to be extremely careful when you're pulling. It's better to just cut because you can pull your paper off. Then I'm going to take and sand all of that excess paper off by going in a downward motion. Why I didn't use the big old, finger sander down there, zip sander, whatever, I don't know. But maybe I was afraid I'd hit it, scrape it. I don't know. I'm wild sometimes. But I'm just going to take all my paper off. When I get my paper off, look at that beautiful thing. Now, I could have painted it white or something to make it color pop, but I wanted it to look dull like this. That's just what I chose. You can do what you choose. Now, I'm just going to go over it with a very thin, and I mean thin coat of ultra matte Mod Podge. Now, if you do your Mod Podge too thick at this point, it'll get wet and it'll rip it. So you don't want to go over it too many times either with your brush because you'll pull it and rip it. Napkins are very thin. So I'm just going to go over it and give it a thin layer of Mod Podge just to seal this down. Now I've got these leather words from Hobby Lobby. And I'm simply going to, that's what I was saying, you could paint it. But anyway, I'm trying to figure out what glue. I'm going to use Beacon 3-in-1. I think this is the best for this right here. This is very good glue. So I'm just going to set them there, and I'm going to put this one on the bottom because I'm going to be, bougieing up the top of that, so to speak, and putting stuff up there. So I'm just going to take, and I put my 3-in-1 in these bottles, and if you don't tip them upside down, it won't come to the tip. But I put them in these Dollar Tree bottles, and I'm pushing down on the faux leather piece here. And the reason you're doing that is because it just smushes out just the tiniest bit of thin layer of glue. And that way, when you put this down, you're not smushing glue everywhere. And it also is better than the hot glue because the hot glue will smush glue everywhere. So, and if you get any of this glue smushed out, just take your pink tool and just clean that glue up. Easy peasy. So once I get these all glued down, this stuff dries super duper fast. I'm going to take this greenery that I had in my stash, and I'm going to clip some pieces off. And I'm going to put them just like that, and I'm going to staple them because I don't think there's any need in trying to, glue that down. So I do staple them, and then I'll go over them with glue, but it's not going to show because I'm going to put the leaves over top of that. I just wanted some greenery, and I really cover up the green part. It's more or less just that yellow looking part. So once I get that done, then I'm just going to start layering leaves on here and just make it to where, I like it. Do what you like, okay? So once I get my leaves like I want them, I'm going to take this twine bow. I just ran it around my hand and then twisted it in the middle and made the bow part. And then when I tied it in the middle, that's what made my tails. Burnt my finger. So I'm just going to push that down in the middle. And then I'm going to take these 3 flowers. These came from Dollar Tree. And I just pulled them off a pick. They were, just in my bucket of scraps. And I'm going to put these together to make it look like one, kind of like a big hydrangea piece, maybe. Yeah, that's what it looked like in my brain. So yeah, there they go, like a little mini hydrangea. And since there's acorns, pine cones in this paper, I'm gonna put these 2 mini pine cones that I had in my stash on the sides of my flowers. I'm just gonna glue them, set them right down in there. This is so pretty. I love the brown, earth tones, browns, and whatnot in there. But looking at this, okay, I did see that my words blended in with the colors of the paper too much. So what I'm going to do in a minute when I get done fidgeting with this thing is I'm going to take I'm just showing you now. Oh my goodness. Okay, here. I'm going to take a brown. Gosh, my brain. Help me, Lord. I'm going to take a gold marker from the Dollar Tree, okay? And I'm going to go around it, and it looks like that. But when you wipe it back, it does not look like that anymore. It puts like a faint shadow on it of kind of like a silver, and it looked really pretty, and that was just gone. I guess I'll show you at the end when I give you the final reveal. My video editing is terrible right now because my video editor is messing with me, and I'm looking into newer ones. Just give me a minute, y'all. But I took that bow off, and then I scraped that glue off, and I'm gonna sand it down real good. I don't want no glue residue on here because I'm gonna stain it with Waverly wax, and if you do that and you have glue on it, it's gonna leave a spot because the stain won't adhere. So I make sure I sand that all off real good and wipe it down. And then I'm just simply going to take a wipe and dip my Waverly wax in, baby wipe in the Waverly wax and use my finger. And I'm going to just stain all that, not the middle. I'm going to leave the middle. So that looks like that then. And isn't that just pretty? That's just beautiful, isn't it? I love that brown and that wood. I love it. So I'm going to take a thin layer of Mod Podge. Now this paper, I printed it from a piece that I got out of a book. And I just liked it. It was the last piece I had left. So I'm just using it and I'm copying it, scanning and copying it from my printer, and I make my own prints. And so this is the wet method, and I'm just putting Mod Podge on, and I'm gonna smush this down. Now, I was in a hurry, and I don't think when I'm crafting sometimes. I'm just going with the flow, y'all. Just going with the flow. I am pressing this down, and I realize at that moment that I'm getting the creases of the leaf. And I was like, you big dummy. You should have put this on there, rubbed it down, and creased your leaf. Then I could have cut it out, and it would have been so much easier than what I have to do. But I'm going to put that over there to dry, and we'll get back to that in a minute. So while that's drying, I've got this little cutting board from Hobby Lobby. I absolutely love these cutting boards. I pick them up whenever I see them. They're usually half price, and I just grab a bunch. Well, not a bunch, but a few. A few is different than a bunch. Yeah, I grab a few. So I'm going to cut this Dollar Tree transfer I've had for an eternity, I feel like. And I'm going to get that word fall out of it. And then I'm going to put this on this board. But I didn't want it that color, so I'm going to paint it plaster. So I removed the leather string. We'll use that later. But I removed the leather string hanger, and this was dumb. I put way too much water in there, so y'all don't even have to look at this. So what had happened, it just wiped it right off. So I'm just going to take some paint, and I'm going to take a paper towel. It's a dry paper towel, okay? And I'm just rubbing that paint in. So I'm actually just painting with a paper towel, and then I'm going to rub it off. And you can do this however many times you need to, and this gives it just kind of a whitewash effect, and that's what I was going for with the paint mixture, but I put too much water in it. So I just whitewashed this with a dry paper towel, and there you go. And I do that on the front and the back and the sides. Oh, I'm going to tell y'all something. Normally, I can put these transfers down, and I can rub them just a little bit, and they'll stick to anything, even your stinking fingers. These, I don't know if it was the bamboo, I don't know what it was, but these were so hard to get down, okay? I scratched them with anything and everything I had, and I'll tell you the best thing that I had, I'll show you a little bit later. But I'm just going to cut these out, and I'm just going to lay random pieces and just make a scene here. I love the little bird and, you know, these leaves and whatnot. So, yeah. So I'm just trying to arrange these wherever. And if you lap them over, you can scrape that off. It's no big deal. So I'm just going to place them down here, and then I'm going to start scraping. You know how rubber transfers. You know how rub-on transfers work. You just stick them down. Normally this pink tool does wonderful, but this is just not it. But anyways, you rub it, and if you find it's not coming or not laying down, when you peel up, rub it again. This one I rubbed again and again and again and again and again and again and again, and yeah. So by the grace of God, y'all, I got these transfers down. And I'm just going to take this jute twine. This is from Crafter Square at Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to wrap it around and around and around. And then I'm going to, you know, and I'm doing this tight. And then I'm going to tie a knot real tight in there. And then I'm going to take some of these beads. These are stained beads. So I'm going to put one on one side and tie a knot. And then I'm going to put one on the other side and tie a knot. And I'm leaving the string a little long, and I'm going to fray it just because I like that look. If you don't, then don't do it. But I do tie my knot. I double knot this so it doesn't slide through, because if it ever gets tight, it might come through the hole of the bead. So I just, you know, double knot it. Yeah, you see what I'm doing here. So then I pull it to the side. Okay, so I'm going to struggle to get that to the side in a minute. But I get it. I want it over to the side. See, I'm getting it. I guess I didn't twirl it too tight, but there it is. So I have that done, and I've got this little mini rolling pin. I get these at Hobby Lobby too. You can order them from Amazon, yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to stain the handles and paint it white and then just put the rest of my rub-on transfers on there. That tool right there is the best thing to rub them on. So now we're back to the leaf. I wish I would have creased my paper and just cut it out. I have to take my X-Acto knife and I've got to shimmy around every one of these leaf, you know, that inner leaf, circle, cut out, whatever, and try to get this cut out. Y'all, I'll be back. Y'all, while I was losing my mind, I realized my thumb. I just take my thumbnail and go around it, and it, like, separated it. Once I got that off, then I'm going to take that little bitty thing, and I normally don't scrape back and forth, but this, I had no choice, so I scraped back and forth to get that excess paper sanded down smoothly, or as smooth as I could. Y'all, that about wore me out. So I made a double bow here, and I'm going to put that, I'm not putting it on the top like you think. I want to decorate right smack dab in the middle of this thing. I wanted a big, big, big bow, but it covered up my beautiful paper, and that made me angry. So I've got this twine flower that I made, and I'm going to stick it in the middle. And I thought I wanted something behind it, but, you know, I really didn't. I just want the twine flower in there. And it's just a twine flower I made and then put a button in it. And that is going to go right there. And, y'all, this is so pretty. It's just plain and simple, but it's so pretty to me. I love fall colors. Okay, I'm more of a earth tone. Now I like my pastels, but I like my earth tones too. So it was very pretty to me. And then I'm just gonna take that string there from that cutting board and put it on there, and I'm done. I'm not done. I'm not done. I forgot I did this, y'all. I didn't like it, the raw edge. It just was missing something. So I'm going to take my twine. I almost said twoot. Twoot is twine and jute mixed together. Okay, that's my new word of the day. I'm going to take my twoot. And I'm going to put my twoot around this by just taking the glue and smeared it on there. Now it sticks to my glass, but it pulls right up, okay? So I'm going to take this twoot and I'm going to continue to glue and go around there. So look, I got that twoot right on there and it looks really good. I could have done my middle leaf too, but I didn't. But you can if you want to. Look at those. Those are so pretty. Now those acorns and stuff is just some stuff I did previously, and I had to delete that video because apparently I said something I shouldn't have said. I don't know what was going on. But anyway, I deleted it. The Lord told me to, so I did. But anyway, cover those with Mod Podge when you're done so you don't scratch your transfers off. But those are just so cute. Are they not beautiful? I know, right? I love them. I don't love them near as much as I do that right there. That has to be my favorite. I mean, that has to be my favorite. Except that droopy bow. But I love this. This is so pretty. And then I have that one right there. And then my beautiful leaf. Y'all, thank you so much for watching. You guys continue to give me the sweetest comments. I mean, you truly are a blessing to me. I love each and every one of you, and I'm thankful for you. I really am. I'm thankful for all you do for me, all your support. It means so much to me. Words cannot even express, I promise. You guys are a blessing. Until next time, goodbye.